Hello, and welcome to Vanlife in NYC with Isaac. Let's go. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Vanlife in NYC with Isaac. I hope you can hear me pretty well. I do have all my fans running because it is hot, hot, hot. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I am not. That rhymed. It was beautiful. Well, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Isaac, or Ike is my stage name. You might know me as Ike. That's cool, too. I'm living here in NYC. I'm an equity actor, and I am looking for a job. As of today, I was just signed by an agency. I will talk more about that moving forward, but I'm very excited for that. That's going to be a nice little change of pace because having just even one person in a room or outside of a room advocating for you is super important. I've kind of learned how having a network of people can really elevate your career and elevate it quickly as well. I do my best to keep a good face and be the person I know I am, and get to meet all these cool people. Like, for example, last night I got to meet the touring conductor of Six, the national tour, which is really cool. And she is actually working with a friend of mine from college. So it's such a small world, and you really do just have to be a good person. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. To be good people. No worries there. Oh my gosh, the biggest thing so far since the last time we spoke, because it's been about 2 weeks, I've been developing my intro. So I've been going around New York and filming with this camera, and it's been an absolute blast. And so I've been trying to finalize what I want to do with that intro, that opening intro. So bear with what you saw today. It's not its final form. It's just something that I'm still working on, and I'm excited because I didn't think that this was going to take off kind of how it has. The last video has 117 views as of the moment with which I'm filming this, which is incredible considering the first starting out ones only had like 40 or 50. And I've gained in the last 2.5 weeks 40 subscribers. So, wow. If you're not already liking and subscribing to this content just because you don't know what you're going to get, that's fine. But please do if you're interested to kind of figure out how I live van life and how I'm doing New York as an actor. Like maybe this is what the channel is for you, or the channel that is for you. Yeah, so this week I've auditioned twice, had 2 callbacks. It was really cool, really exciting. Auditioned for a theater I have worked for just for fun. Beef and Boards, love them. And then also for this theater of New Canaan, the summer theater of New Canaan, because my tap instructor was like, hey, you should audition for them. And I was like, okay, well, I'll submit something. Got nothing from that. And then he individually submitted me. And again, this goes back to like who you know and how you know them. And so I went into a room full of Gastons, and I was the shortest by like 6 inches, which is cool. But I went and I did good showing. They had me sing twice. I know that I should be happy with the work that I did. I just might not be the look that they want, which is totally fine. You got to know that about yourself and know that even though you can sing the crap out of something, somebody may not be looking for your specific type, and that's cool. That's really what I've been learning a lot on this practice. And I don't know how many auditions you go to, but my goal for any given week is 2 to 4, and the max I've done in a week is 6, which is a lot, and I would never wish that hell upon anyone. But yes, that has happened, and that does exist. I submitted for another Blippi thing that I was really hopeful for, but have not heard anything back from them, so that's probably not going to happen. But needless to say, it's always fun to kind of explore where you've gone in your career and like also harken back to things, because Blippi, for example, was my first national tour, and it really shaped my life, and the amount of money that I was able to make doing that contract shaped my life too. So I think you kind of have to take everything individually in its own right. Also, equity, me being so new to it, I'm still kind of learning how the flow of equity works. I've been acclimated to the website. I've gone to Actors Equity every day, pretty much, for an audition the last few weeks, whenever I can get seen anyhow. And I've learned that they just did the Unite the Road. It was going to go into like protest, if you don't know what Unite the Road is, essentially there's a union for actors, and we, as a union, decided that we needed more money, per diem, travel money, et cetera, for the union tours that are out there right now. And yes, I do say that word weird. I also say penguins weird. But with Unite the Road, they essentially were fighting for just these higher wages to show that with inflation, like, there needs to be a rate shift. And I think, don't quote me on it, but like the inflation rate has grown 17% since the last contract negotiation. And I don't know about you, but even a 17% tip still eats into what I'm paying. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think of it that way, like, you're missing 17% of a paycheck. That's not okay. So it's necessary to have these talks, and I'm glad that Equity and them were able to come to some sort of deal. So hashtag Unite the Road, excited for what's going to go there, because honestly, I would love a union tour. That would be a lot of fun for me as I'm kind of stylizing and developing who I am. I've kind of realized that for me, I am definitely a character actor. I've always known that, but it's important to kind of get like a good grasp of it and follow along for yourself, that in fact you are good at doing certain things. Like, I'm not a chorus boy. I'm not. I can't dance exceptionally well like those people that do, and good for them. But where I excel is in my acting and in my singing, and I am going to start kind of laying into that. I know that they say not to worry about it till you're older, but like, I'm at a weird point, both physically looking and just monetarily speaking. I need the bigger bucks. So I'm going to go that route. I'm really going to push for character actor and big, like, brassy baritone, because they are on Broadway. They do exist. My friend Jordan, he's out there showing them that the lyric baritone still exists. I think it's important that we have that, and it needs to get written into shows again, because these high rock tenors will not last. You cannot do it for your whole career, and it's just unsustainable. So, sorry, that's a little rant, because literally every call out there for cruise ships asking for high rock tenors. I'm like, you're asking for the best of the best. The reason that those rock stars were out there is because they were the best of the best, and that's why there were so few, and that's why they're so coveted. To try and make every singer sound like that is just hogwash, to use a wonderful expression. Absolute hogwash. Equity acting is hard. Living in a van while doing all of that is also hard, because the temperature change has been crazy. It's like 88 degrees outside right now. I know I'm wearing a flannel, but I wanted to kind of like dress up for you a little bit, because you don't really want to see me in just my regular Ball State gear that I was wearing. But I am going to be busy. I'm going to go see a show tonight on Broadway. And that'll be very fun. I'm going to go see Shucked. Should be great. I'll let you know how it is. Last night I saw Stranger Sings, which was really cool, Off-Broadway. And that was a lot of a lot of references throughout the seasons. And they've already extended twice, way longer than they anticipated. So that's fun, too, to kind of see that little success of something. I've moved back to where I was. I was just off the A on 145. Now I'm back to 125-ish. And I like it here. It's a lot quieter. It's a lot more roomy. But I am getting a lot more sun, which is creating a lot more heat. And my fan that I have installed, it's a Max Air fan, 7500 series. They have a lot of problems with their motherboard. So it only runs at 20% right now. It's destroying me. And I'm working to get that fixed. I will probably get the order of the motherboard in and install that myself. Maybe I'll film it so you can see what it looks like to fix and repair things. My heater went out again. The stupid heat sensor is just terrible. It doesn't work. So just know when you order certain things that you're probably going to need small little parts to fix it, because they will not always work how they are rated to work. Especially, these off-brands or whatever you're installing in your vehicle. Please be careful. I haven't had any actual issues, but, for someone that's relying on something and they're out in the cold and they need that heater to work for them 100%, like, have all the necessary parts that you may need in case something goes down. I think that's the important thing, is I always keep like a small set of utensils and tools with me in the van in case I need to do quick fixes and things like that. Otherwise, my electrical is working perfect. I'm using a lot of power at this very moment. And with the amount of sun coming in right now, it's amazing. I've not had any issues with power. That's, it's really only a problem that happens in the winter, that when you don't really get enough sun to support solar power. But, kind of build your van based on where you think you're going to be and what you're going to be doing is kind of what I think about with that. If you have any particular questions about how my van works, I can give you a brief rundown, but I fully run on solar. I can quick rig it if I need to, or plug into a shore power source if I need to. But I solely rely on the solar for my day-to-day activities. And it helps me power my computer for all of my editing purposes and all that. Ooh, yes, speaking of editing, I had a gig that was an off-Broadway gig for video. I didn't realize that was going to be fun, but I've been making and developing all these videos, and finally someone was like, hey, I'll pay you to do that for me. And that show just opened last night, so I need to see it and see how everything's going. There was apparently some problems with QLab or whatever, but that has nothing to do with me, as far as I know. They have not contacted me and asked me for anything else. I've sent them a million files, so hopefully everything's good, and I can get paid for that. That will be great and help me get through another month. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, you got to find, for acting, you're not going to be acting 12 months of the year, generally. You can be. I've done 10 months out of a year, and that was spectacular. But hedge your bets. Know that you're probably going to have to excel in other ways and other skills. Like, my skills are all over the place in terms of, like, obviously I built this van, but I like to do audio. I like to do filming, anything in that realm. I hate bartending, even though I'm good at it. I hate catering, even though I'm good at it. Like, things like that. Like, find ways to meet yourself in a point where, you're going to be running out of money, or that you're going to just need money to survive. Because I've found that, like, my life is so much more interesting when I'm fighting to live versus sustainably fine. Because whenever I am making a certain amount of money and I don't have to work to live, I'm not creating as an artist. I'm not creative. I'm not doing, like, everything in my power to survive, to get the next job, to whatever. Like, today, like, I'm going through my book and I'm hashing that out. I'm going through my lines for my acting class. I just submitted for 6 other jobs. I submitted for 9 yesterday, and getting my agent, I'm going to be submitting for even more than I already have been. And I'm just, like, super excited to do that. But whenever I'm working a 9 to 5 or something like, some crap job like that, I have no energy to do what I actually am purposed to do. Like, acting is the one true goal for me. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't mind living in, like, super hot environment and cramped in a van or whatever, and know that, like, this isn't the end all be all for me, right? Like, I'm not trying to live in the van forever, but it's a for now problem until I make Broadway or whatever big contract comes my way. I'm prepared for that, and I will live by small means. I don't need to have an apartment that I'm paying $2,200 a month on. I can pay $240 a month on insurance for this and live comfortably. It's not, I don't have a regular working toilet. I don't have regular AC. I don't have all the amenities that come with having an apartment. But my quality of life, my ability to spend money on food and drinks and things that I want goes up tenfold. So there are pros and cons to everything, but you got to find out what kind of life you're trying to live for yourself and where you want to be. For me, I'm literally trying to get the best of the best kind of contract right now. I am asking the most out of myself, as you should always be asking for yourself what you want to do in this life. And I'm trying every avenue. I mean, I'm reaching out to all my old contacts. I'm reaching out to everyone, being like, hey, I am looking for work. I'm equity. I know that changes things for certain companies that I've worked for in the past. But it's one of those things where, like, I'm at that level and I want to be working towards bigger and badder things, I say badder because, it just makes more compelling argument than better, because better is objective. Badder. It just sounds more fun to me. Also, if you have any work that you're looking to get done, let me know. My business partner and we are shot for shot. Like, that is kind of what our slogan is. And I'm working on learning how to animate. I'm working on all forms of editing, from pictures to audio to video. So please do let me know. I may not be perfect, but I'm going to be good at what I do for you, and can always amend and fix things as we go. I hope I get to meet you and talk with you, and I can explain to you more about van life, what it entails, what you should expect, especially starting out, mid-process and also like I'm 2.5 years in at this point. It's been nuts and also liberating in so many ways. I would never take back what I've done. I would never take back the money. I would never take back the time or the energy that I've put into this, because I think it truly has changed me as a person and shaped me as an artist and shaped me as someone, like obviously I still want connections and time with people, but I'm terrible with roommates. And the one thing about this gives me like so much opportunity to travel and see the world at an affordable price. What I spend in gas is always going to be less than what you spend in a hotel room or an Airbnb. So I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know what you want, but please just ask questions, because I want to be an aid. I want to be a resource. I want to be something that propels other people into something else. It was funny, actually, speaking about that, like my acting teacher, his name's David Perlow. He really asked me something very important in class the other day, because this studio that we work for is the Actors Gym. It's like referral only or whatever, and it really makes me think, makes me come into the room, and he basically kind of gives you an idea of like what the rehearsal process should be, or like how you should work with your material, because it's kind of like a 6-step process or whatever. And it's really shaped and changed how I think about all things. All of my auditions have changed. All of my text have changed. Like, I'm literally going to redo my book again. This will be the second time this season that I'm going to redo my musical book, because I'm so ready for change. It's like, you have good material, sure. But anyway, he asked me a question. And he's like, what are you hiding from us, or what are you not showing us about yourself? Because he was like, you're a great actor, you're blah, 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 but you're giving us 90%, but there's still 10% that you're holding from everyone. He's like, I don't know. I can tell you're a sensitive person, and I am a super sensitive person. Despite my Virgo tendency, I'm a Cancer moon. If you believe in astrology, I think it has some part to play. And I just couldn't speak to him. I couldn't respond back to him, because I was so shocked, because there is something. And it was funny because like he did something similar in the like 2 weeks before, where he's like, I want you to get angry. I want you to get angry. And I'm like, I can't. I don't get angry. And it's funny because he's really pushing me to test myself, both as an actor and as a person, and find out why I'm so disconnected from certain things in my life. Yeah, maybe one time I'll break down like my family tree and what's gone on and how my life has been shaped to this point, because a lot of people don't understand why I'm so, well, I guess the way I am. But maybe giving you a detailed history of my past would give you some understanding. Yeah. Needless to say, I've kind of gone everywhere in this, but I think that that's kind of what these podcasts are for me for now, is trying to figure out how and why and when and where and what of all things at all times. I hope you're having so much fun following and the ramblings of a crazy person. But I'm having a good time here in New York. I will be visiting Indiana this summer, so I'll be excited for that. I'm going to do a video series for my brother-in-law, and if that interests you and you want to do like a DIY lighting kit, I can give you all the tips and tricks. But yeah, so that's what's going on. If you need anything detailed out and figured out for you, please let me know what you're curious about. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like if you like it. No worries either way. The channel's growing slowly, and I'm super excited. Well, I should say quickly, because the amount of growth was like 10,000%, really. I exaggerated, but needless to say, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you stuck around this long, great. If you didn't, no worries. I have more ramblings for you coming up later on. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to connect with each and every one of you as you like and subscribe and all the other crap there involved. I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend. Enjoy this weather. It's so nice. Bye.